Minasan, yokoso. Welcome to the Japan Archives. This is our 6th bonus episode, and today we are going to talk about Proverbs. This is a continuation from episode 37. Oh gosh, all the way back to 37. Sorry about the delay, but we're here now. We want to talk a little bit more about Proverbs. So Thomas, what can you tell me about Proverbs?
I know the most tiniest amount about Proverbs, and I came across it in one of my encyclopedias. So the only extra thing I know is that you've obviously said before that in Japanese, Proverbs are known as kotozawa, but I also found out that in old ancient Japan, this word was actually also used for words conveyed by deities, so by different gods and goddesses that were spoken through oracles. And only later did this become the word used for folk wisdom. And by the Edo period, you can find proverbs published in collections of texts known as Keifuki Gusa, which meant that from 1645, this caused kotozawa or proverbs to rise spectacularly in popularity throughout Japan. So that is literally the only extra thing I know about Proverbs.
So you know how I said before I was going to just do 5? Well, Thomas, you just gave me four proverbs. So you just gave me a 5th proverb, Shaka ni seppo. This translates to teaching Buddhism to the Buddha. Your explanation was beautiful and I love it. And that's actually way better than what I have. So I'm glad that you know just a little bit because I just learned something. So thank you so much. Because that's my bonus proverb that I wasn't going to say, but then you just inspired me. Thank you.
You're welcome. So you said you have 4 proverbs then for us today.
I do.
Are they themed for any particular episode we've done before, or are they just ones you came across which you kind of liked?
I just did I like this one. And I just chose it based on no particular meaning, just ones that kind of spoke to me at the time, which was what, 3 weeks ago? I guess. Was it about 3 weeks ago? So the first one is Hana Yori Dango, which you've probably heard before.
So it's something to do with dango. I know that much just from quickly listening to it. And Hana is flowers. Yori, 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 yori. Flowers before dango.
You actually got it a little bit backwards. It's dango
Oh, it's
over
switched.
flowers. Yeah, dango over flowers. And the translation for this is that utility is more useful than beauty. So you can eat dango, but you can eat sunflowers, but they're not really filling and they're not going to be able to help you. So even though beauty does have its place, essentially that basic human need of being able to eat to do the next thing, you have to be able to eat to actually produce the beauty. So I quite like that one because just getting down to basic human needs. All right, so the next one is Naiso de wa furenu, which means you can't shake an empty sleeve. And we're coming back to sleeves on this one. So I know we talked, I forget which episode it was. This is way back when. I picked this one because I remembered us talking about sleeves in a poem. And we were kind of like, oh, the different meanings and nuances of sleeves. Well, this is a pretty big one. Back Mukashi Mukashi, the sleeves of the kimono were used to store money with stored items, but mostly you put your money in there. This saying equivalent is a kind of equivalent to you can't get blood from a turnip.
I've heard that one, yes.
So, but I mean, nowadays, unless we get the explanation, we'd have no idea what it meant. So this one is I'm trying to think of a more modern phrase, and I'm drawing a blank, which is also a idiom. But essentially, is if there's nothing in that sleeve, you can't shake it to get the money out. So if there's nothing there, you can't get it, which I can't think of another equivalent. Can you think of anything?
Not right now. You put me on the spot and my mind has given in.
Well, I like this one quite a bit, especially, this one speaks to me greatly. Shiranu ga hotoke, which means not knowing is Buddha, or ignorance is bliss.
That's quite a famous one.
Mm-hmm. And then my last one, which I feel like you've heard this one before. I'm pretty sure you have. Nanakorobi yaoki.
The only thing that quickly stood out to me was the number 7 right at the beginning.
And can you think of a proverb that has something 7 in it that's Japanese? I feel like you know this one. I really do. When I say it, you're going to go, oh, yeah.
I can't quite remember the Japanese, but it makes me think of one in English, which is like 3 steps forward, 2 steps back.
Okay, well, fall 7 times and stand up 8.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, they're probably very similar.
Hmm. Well, the 2 steps 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, I think it's a little bit there's movement involved, but this one is you keep getting knocked down. You keep getting knocked down, but you don't give in. You don't give in, like, keep falling down, but I'm still gonna stand back up. So, it doesn't matter what happens as long as you keep going forward. That one is absolutely that one really, really speaks to me just in life in general, and it just really right now fits appropriately with with the world. So fall down 7 times,
Yeah,
stand
it
up
sure
8.
does.
So those are my proverbs for today. But Thomas, you said you had one for me, and I'm all
Yeah,
ears.
I wanted to give you a proverb as well, which I came across. Well, I think when I first started building the website, actually, so a year or two ago now. It's a proverb which starts off a diary. We've briefly mentioned it before, and we have said we'll do an episode. It was known as the Tosa Diary by Kino Surayuki, and he starts the diary with the following proverb: "Oitaru o chichi to seo," which we can translate to "that which is old should be treated with the respect due a father."
So for Japan, the hierarchy is really important. So like the older you are, the more respect you are due. So like the people who are above you, elder, your senpai, family members who are older than you are deserving of respect and honor. And essentially, if you are the lower part of that hierarchy, you're going to treat that person with great respect because of the whole hierarchy system that's here. So I mean that how old is that proverb? Do you know? I'm assuming I'm trying to remember how old it was. I don't remember.
I'm not sure how old the specific proverb is, but I can tell you how old it is at least if we find the date of the diary. And the diary was written around the text details a 55-day journey taken in 935. So yes, the proverb is at least 1,000 years old.
So essentially, items of like older historical value should be treated reverently and not tossed about and disrespected. They should be treated like you would treat your father, which, especially back during that time period, your father had the ultimate authority over you, and you were supposed to give him respect and all of that honorable things.
I think there's still an element of it today
Hmm. Hmm.
in Japan, but perhaps I feel like the idea of the fire of the household has become more of the company you work for.
Yeah, that's definitely a really big topic that we have to dive into at some point someday, but that is a big topic.
Yeah, it sure is. So yeah, there was my proverb, a short and sweet. I mean, I guess they all are really, aren't they?
That's the beauty of a proverb. It doesn't take much to understand the meaning.
And I also like as well that even in a different language, you can find a proverb in your own language from your own culture that basically has the same meaning as a Japanese one. So proverbs the world over seem to always draw upon the same ideals, I find.
Which brings me to there's nothing new under the sun.
Now your homework is to find what that is in Japanese.
Oh, okay. Challenge accepted.
And if I forget to call you up on this homework, we're going to have to rely on one of the listeners to remind us at a certain point. But thank you for the proverbs today.
You're
Like
so
we said, it's a
welcome.
bonus episode, so it's short and sweet.
Mhm.
So yeah, thank you, Heather, for those today.
Yeah, thanks for the beautiful explanation and for your poem, your proverb as well.
Oh, you're welcome. So until next time, guys, that was our quick short bonus episode. Mata ne.
またね